All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. So, Teresa Gold and the Pac 12 are continuing to rebuild their league. And after getting commitments from Utah State, Fresno State, Boise State, San Diego State, and Colorado State, hear a theme going here, of course, right? Getting all five of these schools to leave the Mountain West to join the Pac 12. Yesterday, the Pac 12 was able to add on to that, as for the first time, they didn't add a state school, but it's going to be Gonzaga who is joining the Pac 12 as well. Of course, Gonzaga doesn't have a football program, but they continue to be a basketball power. I mean, you just look at their resume. And the only time since 1999 that the Zags have not made the NCAA tournament, you got to go back to 2020 when there was not an NCAA tournament. They've had a pair of Final Four appearances since 2017. They're always nationally ranked. Mark Few's program is consistently sending guys to the National Basketball Association, and now they're going to do it in the Pac 12. And for Gonzaga, they had been on the Pac 12's radar. And now you're going to have them in the same conference with San Diego State. And of course, San Diego State just made the Final Four, made the championship game a couple of seasons ago in men's basketball. And I think this really heightens and strengthens what the Pac 12 is going out there and looking to accomplish. So now the Pac 12 has 8 members, but of course, they still need one more football program. And of course, there are rumors still that could possibly be Memphis. Okay. Memphis was tried, the Pac 12 tried to woo Memphis before a couple of weeks ago, did not work out as they were looking to get them, UTSA, Tulane, as well as USF to all leave the American. On the flip side, for the Mountain West, okay, because obviously they've taken it on the chin, if you will, during this process because 5 of their members are now gone. And they've come in now and they need 2 more football full-time members because Hawaii is only a football member. So you look at it, and they've gotten UTEP, okay, to leave Conference USA and join the Mountain West. And I'll tell you like this: just from the setup of UTEP's home stadium, talking about the Sun Bowl in El Paso, it fits right into the Mountain West. I mean, you got a stadium that's literally built into the mountains there. So, but nonetheless, getting back, to the serious part of it, the Mountain West, they got to hunker down to try to go out there and save their league. And I mean, they just got the commitments or the recommitments rather from both UNLV and Air Force, which is big for them. All of the remaining members have agreed to remain with the league through the year 2032. So UTEP's leaving Conference USA. They've got 7 full-time members now if you're the Mountain West. So who's that 8th member going to be? We heard the rumors and heard the reports about the Mountain West extending a verbal offer to Texas State, but Texas State has decided to remain in the Sun Belt. I'm not sure why, okay? And I'm not going to sit up here and speculate. I'm sure that Texas State had their reasons. It's an up and coming program. And honestly, it would have made sense, from in my opinion, for them to have joined the Mountain West. And then you could have had 2 schools in from the great state of Texas in the Mountain West with both UTEP and Texas State. But nonetheless, that is not going to happen. I think from here, the Mountain West is probably going to have to go the FCS route in order to get their next member. Are they going to be able to convince one of these schools to move up from the FCS level to the FBS level? We'll have to wait and see. I think that, all jokes aside, I think Texas State not going to the Mountain West is another blow for this league. Like I said before, they've taken it on the chin so far. as far as what the Pac-12 has gotten out of this league, and they're looking to survive. But nonetheless, getting back to the new Pacific 12, clearly they're not done here. You bring in Gonzaga, which is a basketball power. You also have the possibility of Grand Canyon and St. Mary's joining this league as well. And of course, we've seen Grand Canyon get to the NCAA tournament recently. And then, of course, as dominant as Gonzaga has been for quite some time in the West Coast Conference, who's the school that has prevented them from being even more dominant? It's St. Mary's. Okay, so now let's just say, sake of argument, you get St. Mary's into this basketball league as well. It only heightens it. And I think, with what Teresa Gold is trying to do with the Pac 12, she's coming at it from both a football standpoint as well as a basketball standpoint to try to strengthen this league. And when you think about Pac 8, Pac 10, Pac 12 athletics over the years, okay, they didn't just come at you from one sport. I know that football, you know, is the king of the frat house, so to speak, when it comes to the money that it generates. But you think about the old Pac 12, okay? It wasn't just about football for this league, it was about basketball because Pac 12 basketball was recognized. Okay, you think about some of the strong programs over the years: UCLA, Arizona, Stanford. We can go right down the list. And then, of course, some of the Pac-12 baseball programs, soccer programs, Olympic sports. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But nonetheless, you get it football wise and you get it basketball wise as far as securing your television money. And I think adding Gonzaga strengthens it. And I think the fact that you got Gonzaga to join, it's going to make, the St. Mary's and the Grand Canyons of the world look and say, hey, let's try to get into this conference and let's try to go out there and talk turkey. Speaking of that, will UNLV regret not joining the Pac 12? And I'm going to say it's possible because I know that the Mountain West clearly sweetened the pot for both UNLV and Air Force to remain in their league. And they basically took the money that they got from the Pac 12 for the departures of the five schools. You're hearing stuff about UNLV looking to get to the Big 12 down the line. That's if the Big 12 wants them. We got to wait and see how things would play out when it comes to the next round of television deals for the power conferences. With that said, I think that UNLV should have made the move to the Pac 12. It would not have been a lateral move. Just think about it from a basketball aspect. You would then have UNLV, San Diego State, and Gonzaga all in the same league, and possibly Memphis as well. I think from a basketball standpoint, that would have made a strong conference even stronger. But nonetheless, UNLV is committed to the Mountain West, and let's see how it works out for the Rebels there. So, if you're the Pac 12 now, you're clearly looking to get your television deal. And I've talked about this in depth before, especially on this platform with Mark Jenkins of the Kitchen Sink podcast. We talked about it several weeks ago. The Pac 12 is in a good spot. They're going to look at it to try to get their media deal and then go after it as far as getting more members. So you've got Turner with TNT. They got money to spend, especially after they lost out on the NBA. You also have possibly CBS, and you still got the CW because the CW right now is working with the Pac 12 to televise games for both Oregon State and Washington State. And I think it can be feasible because, of course, let's just put ESPN out of the equation because ESPN, with all of their network streaming platforms, you name it, they're kind of tied up. How much sports can you televise? But there are other networks that do want to show something. You look at CBS for an example. Okay, CBS gets that 3:30 Eastern time game for the Big Ten. That is basically taking the spot for their premier game for the SEC. You still got a window to fill, you know, at 12 o'clock and even possibly at 7 or 8 o'clock if you want to. I know that CBS does have a deal with the Mountain West to televise their games. Maybe that's something that the Pac 12 could come into as well. I mentioned Turner and I mentioned the CW as well. So there are definitely options out there for the Pacific 12 to go out there and market their product. So, of course, a lot of people are throwing around the question, and I'm going to oppose it right now once again. Should the Pac 12 and Mountain West merge? At first, when Oregon State and Washington State were left to hold the bag of the crumbling Pac-12, I thought that, you know what, it should happen. Even into this year, well into this year, I thought that it should happen. But you clearly see Oregon State and Washington State wanted to work with some of the members of the Mountain West, not all of them. Then on top of that, this is hypothetically speaking, okay? I don't know this part, what I'm about to say, but it appeared like, you know what? The Pac 12 was like, if we take what we feel are their strongest schools, they will dissolve the conference and then we could just continue to cherry pick from there. That did not happen either, as the Mountain West has really hunkered down and they're going to do everything possible to keep their league. So when it's all said and done, I highly doubt that you're going to see a merger between these two leagues right now. Both of them are fighting for their respective survival. The Pac 12 has been aggressive, but they haven't been overly aggressive and they have not gotten desperate. That's something that's going to work in their favor. So they have eight. Okay. And of course, Gonzaga does not, solve the football problem, but they definitely help to strengthen the Pac 12 from a basketball standpoint. I think Teresa Gold will continue to be methodical and she will continue to be strategic. Clearly, they missed out on their big four from the American. I think, if you read the tea leaves, it looks like the Pac 12 is going to circle back to try to get Memphis. I'll tell you like this, for them to get Memphis to leave the American, I would imagine that they're going to have to bring somebody else from the American with Memphis, even if it's just one other school, maybe a Tulane. We'd have to wait and see. So right now, there are seven football members, eight when you count basketball. You need at least one more clearly for football to be recognized by the NCAA. So I think when it's all said and done, I think Teresa Gold and the Pac 12 get two more commitments football wise. That would bring them to nine. Clearly, 10 members when it comes to basketball. And then I think when it's all said and done, I truly do believe that St. Mary's and Gonzaga and Grand Canyon, excuse me, will join Gonzaga in the Pac 12, give them 12 basketball schools, and they would have nine football schools. But nonetheless, it's it's the game of realignment, and it's a battle of survival. And I've talked about this, and I'm going to continue to talk about it because this is a situation that simply ain't going to go away. It's just a matter of who's going to be the most creative, who is going to be able to produce the best television deal for their members. Those are going to be the leagues who survive. Big move by the Pac-12 bringing in Gonzaga. The Mountain West was able to get UTEP, but like I said, they need one more football school, as does the Pacific 12. So let's see what's next for both of these two leagues as they look to survive. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.